Casey's handwritten statement does not describe her. Her birthday is not September 1st. She's not 25 years old. She's not 5'7". She's not 140 pounds. She doesn't have black hair. She doesn't have perfect teeth. She's not a 10. I'm sorry, ma'am. You're cute, but you're not a 10.
Well, ma'am.
Whoa, to add insult to injury, Cindy Anthony tells Zenaida Gonzalez she's not as good looking as the Zenaida who Casey claims took her daughter Kaylee. A judge today said no to Casey's attempt to have the case thrown out. In fact, the Zenaida Gonzalez, who is not as good looking as the other Zenaida Gonzalez that may or may not exist, got the go-ahead to seek punitive damages from the accused murderer. We are back discussing the very latest in this unbelievable case. Phone lines jam-packed. Kathleen, New York, your question or thought, man?
Hi, Jane. How you doing? I want to say hello to everyone there, and thank you for doing what you guys do every night.
Thank you.
My question is, what is the rush to get this civil case going? Wouldn't it be better to wait for Casey to be found guilty? And what if she's not found guilty? What will happen to Zenaida Gonzalez then?
Okay, Keith Mitnick, you're the attorney for Zenaida, so take it away.
The rush to it is she has this cloud hanging over her head, and she wants to pursue justice. Goodness knows how long this criminal case is going to languish, and she doesn't want to sit on a back burner with her life waiting to do something about it. If she were to happen to be found not guilty, the news would be, for my client, would make no difference. As a matter of fact, if she were to be found not guilty and write some book, come into a bunch of money, then I'd be able to seek monetary damages for my client in the form of punitive damages or punishment.
How much punitive damages would you like to see?
Well, if she gets a book deal, I'd like to get every cent of it.
Woo!
For my client.
Oh, wow.
Because she shouldn't get the money for it. The money is more justice is served. I'd rather see it in my client's hands into the hands of Casey Anthony.
But the caller should know that this never happens. What normally happens is what the caller's talking about. You have a criminal case, and she's either found guilty or she's found not guilty. Right now, she has no money whatsoever. I mean, it's not like she's even stamping license plates at the jail. All right. This is really all about generating her name over and over and over again and really accomplishing nothing.
All right. Debbie, Massachusetts, your question or thought, ma'am?
Hi, Jane. Love the show.
Thank you. I hope you keep watching.
I will. The question I have, I'm a little bit confused. Casey Anthony has no money, has never had any money, nor a job, nor any assets. Assuming a victory in the civil case, what do you reasonably expect to get?
What we reasonably expect to get is some semblance of justice, some clearing of a name. Some cases aren't about money, they're really about a righteous cause, and this happens to be one of them. It's hard for other lawyers at times to fathom that.
Okay.
But this is about a righteous cause for somebody that was an innocent victim caught up in this web of deceit, and we're trying to unravel the web.
Stacey Honowitz says so many questions. One, let me ask Stacey, because actually, Drew, you're having a little problem with your mic, so we're going to get that fixed. Stacey, a lot of people think this could be an avenue for all of us to learn where Stacey is getting the money to pay for her criminal defense team, very high-powered criminal defense team, and all these experts. Could they use this as a vehicle to dig up all this information about where she's getting her dough and possible media deals?
You mean the civil action?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's certain questions that somebody might say, it's not relevant to whether or not she defamed or she defamed this woman and said she was the person that took this child. But certainly people are very curious to know if she never worked, if she didn't have a job, where did she get the money from? Now, you remember, Jane, the court wanted to hold a hearing at some point, or the prosecutors wanted to hold a hearing because they thought they had the right to know where the expert fees were coming from. And the court, in an in-camera hearing, which means outside the presence of the press and everybody else, held this hearing with Jose Baez and said, I don't need to know, or whatever he told them was enough to satisfy the court. Are there avenues to try to figure it out? I think you'd have to ask Keith if he would think that those questions are relevant in maybe if the case, if damages are found.
All right. It's a very good question. And briefly, with the victory that we won today on the punitive damages part of the case, we now have free rein to go into the finances, and that's one of the very things we intend to pursue doggedly.
Let me ask Dr. Judy Kuriansky, and by the way, Drew, you're back if you want to jump in and make a point. Dr. Judy, you just feel right now the intense emotions that this case elicits, and you see the fiery emotions in the deposition. What is it about this particular set of facts that so fascinates America and that raises everybody's emotions to the boiling point.
Oh, I think it's got everything that a new reality show or that a soap drama would have. It's got a young woman who's partying and lying and having sex with people and is implicated in her little adorable baby's horrific murder. It's got parents who are now in on it, who are emotional and on the edge, and then we can see even how the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's got other innocent people now, like Zenaida, who was likely has nothing to do with it, cold, not a 10, who's dragged into this,
That's
compared not to Bo Derek.
Call you a kidnapper, but don't say you're not a 10.
Right.
That's the really insulting thing.
So everything, all the elements that you could imagine, I think that's why it's capturing the public's attention.
Jane, let me say this.
You know what,
Jane,
all right, Drew,
Jane,
last 5
Jane,
seconds
let me say
to Drew.
this. One of the problems with this civil case is sometimes there's too much lawyering. Let the woman live her life and get the lawyers out of it.
Sometimes people need a lawyer to do a good job.
Well, I'm a lawyer,
Guess
and
what? We gotta
sometimes
come back and argue
out.
some
Not
more.
just
It's not
Thanks.
about her, it's about the
We'll be
lawyers.
back to argue a
I
little bit
wouldn't
more.
want you as mine.
Thank you. Excellent.